spiderwebs of light cutting through a black canvas. But now, something moved within those cracks. The air vibrated with a deep, endless hum, a sound older than either universe. Spider-Man felt it first, perched on the shattered spire of what was once the Chrysler Building, and now half of Wayne Tower. He looked up into the fractured heavens. That doesn't sound good. High above, two shapes emerged from the bleeding fabric of space-time. The first was hunger incarnate, Galactus, his immense frame dwarfing continents, his shadow swallowing oceans. His voice rolled like distant thunder. This world sings with infinite life. It will be mine. The second shape stepped through like a king returning to his throne. Darkseid, the Omega sigil burning in his chest, his eyes glowing with hate. Life here is chaos, and chaos will kneel before me. The corrupted brothers, still bound in fragments of Eternium from Doom's control, turned toward the new arrivals, their once divine light dimmed and unstable. They did not speak, but the air rippled with their power. In the Pocket Realm, Lex Luthor and Dr. Doom stood before the swirling vortex of the brothers' essence. Even they felt the weight of the arrivals. Two forces of annihilation converging, Lex muttered. "We can use this." Doom's voice was steel. "We will use this. Galactus will accept my terms. Darkseid will accept yours. Together they will destroy the Resistance." Reverse Flash zipped between them, yellow lightning dancing along the walls. "And if they don't? Then," Doom said, "they will join the rest of the dead." It didn't take long. The Avengers and the Justice League, both still reeling from their own war, spotted the cosmic giants from every corner of the globe. Superman was first to react, streaking into the upper atmosphere to meet them. Thor followed, Mjolnir spinning in his grasp. Wonder Woman flew alongside them, her armor cracked from the last battle, but her will unbroken. Galactus swung first, not with a fist, but with a wave of cosmic force that bent clouds and sent shockwaves down to the surface. The blow knocked Superman into the stratosphere, hurled Thor across the curvature of the earth, and forced Wonder Woman to brace against the winds with her shield. Darkseid moved with terrifying calm, landing in Metropolis, or what was left of it, and reducing 3 city blocks to dust with a single Omega beam sweep. The Justice League scrambled to intercept, Batman on the ground coordinating while Flash darted civilians out of danger. "We can't stop both of them at once," Batman said into comms. "We have to divide." For the first time since the war began, Avengers and JLA forces fought side by side. In Manhattan, Iron Man and Cyborg synced their targeting systems to try and pierce Galactus's armor. In the skies, Green Lantern constructs wrapped around Thor's lightning strikes, turning them into enormous emerald storm spears. Spider-Man swung beside Barry Allen in a dizzying cross-city rescue run. "Didn't think we'd be on the same side this week," Peter said. Barry smirked mid-run. "Don't get used to it. Soon as this is over," Peter cut him off. "We are ending this war after this." Still, even united, they couldn't match the scale of their enemies. Galactus tore through Lantern constructs like paper. Darkseid batted aside Hulk with a single backhand. Aquaman's trident shattered against Galactus's boot. The battlefield became a graveyard of heroes' best efforts. The cost was immediate and brutal. The Nova Corps fell defending the Atlantic approach, their ships vaporized by a combination of Omega beams and Galactus's energy pulse. Dozens of Teen Titans were lost, trying to hold the Golden Gate Bridge, swallowed by a collapsing wormhole, triggered by Doom's sabotage. In Atlantis, Namor's soldiers were turned to ash when Galactus's shadow passed over the city. In the vacuum above, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel took the full force of one of Galactus's blasts, her body tumbling into the ocean below, unmoving. Even the corrupted brothers were drawn into the fray, lashing out at both giants, but their strikes, unfocused and clumsy under Doom and Lex control, only added to the devastation, destabilizing the planet further. By the end of the day, only the largest teams remained intact, the Avengers and the Justice League. Even they were battered, their numbers halved. On a ridge overlooking the burning ruins of Central Europe, a land now made of pieces of Latveria, Sokovia, and Themyscira, Spider-Man stood with Batman and Superman. Around them gathered the last fighters: Wonder Woman, Thor, Iron Man, Green Lantern, Hulk, Aquaman, Flash, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Cyborg. "This is it," Batman said, scanning the fires on the horizon. "One push. We take out Doom and Luthor's control over the brothers, or we don't live to see another sunrise." Superman looked at Spider-Man. "You started as the one telling us to listen to each other. Guess now you're the one telling us where to go." Peter took a deep breath, feeling the weight of every death, every destroyed city. "Then here's the plan. We stop the villains, free the brothers, and pray to whoever's listening that it's enough." Far above, in the pocket realm, Doom and Lex stood before the nearly complete vortex of essence. Darkseid and Galactus clashed in the distance, their blows shaking the void itself. Reverse Flash grinned, ready to run his part of the endgame. Lex leaned toward Doom, smiling like the devil. They think they can win. Doom's mask reflected the burning Earth. They cannot. The merged Earth was dying. The skies bled with streaks of red and blue light. The corrupted brothers clashing with Galactus and Darkseid high above the atmosphere. Every blow they traded rippled across the planet, tearing fault lines into continents and cracking oceans open like glass. From the ridgeline overlooking the burning remains of Central Europe, the Avengers and Justice League prepared for their final push. No more misunderstandings, no more false wars. This was the last battle before there was nothing left to fight for. Batman spread a holographic map of Doom's pocket realm, stolen from Cyborg's systems. Lex and Doom are channeling the brothers' essence from a dimensional anchor point here. We sever that link, the brothers go free. Superman's eyes narrowed, and if we don't, they'll use that power to rewrite this reality as their own, permanently. Thor tightened his grip on Mjolnir. Then we bring them thunder. The heroes split into two strike forces. Team Alpha, Superman, Wonder Woman, Thor, Hulk, Aquaman, and Green Lantern. Tasked with distracting the corrupted brothers, Galactus, and Darkseid long enough to buy the infiltration team a window. Team Omega, Spider-Man, Batman, Iron Man, Flash, Cyborg, Black Widow, and Hawkeye, charged with penetrating Doom's fortress inside the Pocket Realm and destroying the Convergence engine. Team Alpha launched first. Superman led the charge, punching through the stratosphere into the middle of the Titanic brawl. Wonder Woman locked blades with Darkseid in the upper atmosphere, forcing him into a deadlock while Thor hurled lightning into Galactus's chest. Hulk leapt from debris to debris, driving both fists into the corrupted Blue Brother's jaw, hard enough to shake the void. Green Lantern conjured a massive construct of a planetary shield, straining to hold back the Omega beams slicing through space. "Holding, for now," he shouted, even as cracks formed in the emerald surface. Spider-Man and Batman led the Omega team into the Pocket Realm via one of Doctor Strange's last remaining sling ring portals. The Sorcerer himself too injured to fight, but determined to get them through. Inside, the realm was pure madness. Black stone spires twisted in impossible angles, gravity shifting with every step. Doombots swarmed them immediately, reinforced by Lex's steel-plated war machines. An Iron Man and Cyborg synced targeting systems, blasting holes in the enemy lines while Black Widow and Hawkeye moved with lethal precision through the chaos. Batman grappled to the upper levels, dropping smoke bombs and EMP pulses to blind the automated defenses. Spider-Man swung between collapsing platforms, webbing turrets and kicking through walls. Anybody else think this place was designed by someone who really hates visitors? At the heart of the realm, the convergence engine pulsed. Massive rings spinning around a core of white-hot energy, the swirling essence of the brothers trapped inside. Doom stood before it, hands raised, weaving dark science and sorcery into its rotation. Lex was beside him, entering final commands into a control panel. Before Omega could engage, a streak of yellow lightning ripped through the chamber. Reverse Flash, grinning ear to ear. "Been waiting for this, Barry," he said, his voice low and venomous. The Flash appeared behind him in a blur of red lightning. "Then let's finish it." The two vanished into the Speed Force mid-sentence, their fight tearing jagged rifts across the battlefield. Every pass they made sent shockwaves through the realm, shattering spires, collapsing bridges, scattering heroes and Doombots alike. Inside the Speed Force, it was even worse. Thawne mocked Barry with echoes of every tragedy in his life, each taunt punctuated by a blur-fast strike. Barry's response was simple: run faster. The duel became a lightning storm across time itself, fragments of past and future flashing between them. At the climax, Barry forced Thawne into a paradox loop, locking him into a moment that could never end. The villain's scream echoed as he vanished from existence. Barry stumbled back into the realm, bleeding and barely conscious. The Omega team hit the inner chamber hard. Iron Man unloaded his full arsenal into Doom's armor, only for Doom to absorb the energy and hurl it back as a blast that shattered Tony's chest plate. Batman engaged Lex hand to hand, countering every strike with brutal efficiency, but Lex's exosuit enhanced his strength, forcing Bruce to adapt mid-fight. Spider-Man ducked under Doom's sweeping gauntlet, webbing up the villain's mask vents and pulling him into an uppercut from Hulk, who had leapt back from the Alpha battle to lend a fist. "Now!" Batman shouted. Cyborg interfaced with the convergence engine, his systems clashing with Doom's code in a digital war. Sparks flew as the machine's rings slowed, the trapped essence of the brothers straining against their prison. Meanwhile, Alpha was falling apart. Galactus had blasted Green Lantern's construct to shards. The corrupted Red brothers swatted Aquaman into the Atlantic with a shockwave that sent tidal waves crashing into the coastlines of 3 continents. Darkseid hurled Thor through the remains of the Eiffel Tower, then pinned Wonder Woman to the ground with a beam that burned straight through her shield. Superman fought on, a blue and red streak slamming into every giant at once, but even he was slowing. His cape was in tatters, his skin seared with burns from Galactus's energy pulses. Back in the Pocket Realm, Doom triggered a failsafe. The convergence engine overloaded, sending a shockwave through both the realm and the merged Earth. Entire cities, Metropolis, New York, Atlantis, flickered like broken projections. Chunks of land tore free, drifting into the void. The planet's core began to unravel. Spider-Man and Batman locked eyes across the chaos. Batman didn't have to say it. They both knew this was no longer just about winning. It was about surviving long enough to do something. With one final surge, Cyborg overloaded the convergence engine. The containment shattered, and the essence of the brothers exploded outward in a blinding wave. Galactus and Darkseid staggered, their focus broken, but the planet itself screamed in its death throes. The brothers were free, but the world was ending. Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman regrouped as the ground split beneath them, the horizon bending into the void. "We freed them," Peter said, chest heaving. "We actually did it." Superman looked toward the sky, where the freed brothers now hovered, but their light was dim, their voices silent. Batman's jaw tightened. "We freed them too late." The earth cracked apart, swallowing half of the battlefield, dragging heroes and villains alike into the collapsing abyss. Overhead, the sky turned white. The world was breaking apart faster than anyone could comprehend. Entire continents sheared off and drifted into the void. Oceans boiled away into steam. Cities twisted into impossible shapes before collapsing into the white, nothing beyond. The freed brothers hovered in the upper atmosphere, their light dim and erratic, unable to contain the destruction their death and rebirth had unleashed. The last surviving heroes, the Avengers and Justice League, were scattered across the final fragments of Earth. But at the center of it all, on a jagged piece of land, surrounded by swirling chaos, stood Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman. They faced the ruins of Doom's fortress, where Lex and Doom themselves stood, battered but alive, the Convergence engine's shattered remains sparking behind them. "You've lost," Peter said, mask torn. One eye lens cracked. Doom's voice was steady, defiant. "We've already won. This new reality will be ours to shape." Lex stepped forward, armor scorched but still functional. "And when the dust settles, your names will be forgotten." The final fight, Batman moved first, hurling an explosive batarang at Lex, forcing him back. Superman tackled Doom into the rubble, their clash shaking what little ground remained. Spider-Man leapt into the fray, webbing Lex's legs and yanking him into a spinning kick that dented the exosuit's chest plate. Doom countered by unleashing a pulse of magic-infused energy, throwing all three heroes back. Lex charged at Batman, fists like sledgehammers, each blow ringing in Bruce's ears. Peter dove between them, taking the hit meant for Batman, rolling across the ground before springing up again. Superman's heat vision clashed with Doom's sorcery in a blinding mid-air duel. The ground cracked beneath them, chunks of reality falling away into the void. The collapse. The brothers, regaining fragments of their strength, looked down at the battlefield. Their voices spoke as one, echoing across the dying earth. The balance cannot be restored. The old must end. The heroes froze for a moment, realizing what that meant. Peter's voice broke the silence. "We can stop them. We have to." Batman shook his head. "No. They're not destroying this because they want to. They're doing it because they have to." Superman's eyes dropped. "The multiverse itself is too damaged to survive." Before Doom or Lex could move, the brothers released a final, all-consuming pulse of light. It tore through the battlefield, ripping Galactus and Darkseid from the sky, hurling them into the void. Doom and Lex were caught mid-scream, their bodies unraveling into nothingness. The end of the old worlds. The ground beneath the heroes shattered completely. The ocean around them dissolved into light. The sky peeled back to reveal a blinding white void where stars used to be. The last remaining Avengers and Justice League members were pulled into the light one by one. Wonder Woman, Thor, Iron Man, Green Lantern, Aquaman, until only the big three remained. Spider-Man turned to Batman and Superman. His voice was quiet but steady. "If this is it, at least we get to face it together." Batman gave the faintest nod. "We fought for what mattered." Superman looked up into the light, his cape fluttering in the collapsing wind. And we'll do it again, wherever we end up. The void swallowed them. The Mergerverse. When the light faded, there was a world again, but not the one they knew. A single, seamless Earth, where Gotham stood beside New York, where Metropolis shared a skyline with Wakanda, where Themyscira's shores touched Atlantis. History had rewritten itself. Marvel and DC's heroes, villains, and legacies fused into one shared reality. Some faces were familiar, others entirely new. Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman were gone from sight, but their legacy had shifted into something stranger. Post-credits scene, new legends. When the old worlds burned, new ones rose, old names faded, new ones took their place, but the fight never ends. We see them one by one. Bruce Wayne, Peter Parker, Bat Spider, armored suit combining the bat symbol with spider insignia, web wings stretching under a shadowed cowl. Diana Logan, Weapon A, claws of adamantium, Amazonian armor, laced with unbreakable metal, eyes burning with warrior's fury. Saber Psycho. Edgar Creed, a feral hybrid of Sabretooth and Psycho Pirate, wearing a cracked golden mask. T'Challa Kal-El. Sun Panther. Vibranium Kryptonian armor glowing with solar energy. Frank Luthor, Retaliator. Power armor infused with alien tech built to destroy gods. Garfield Rogers, Captain Changeling, shape-shifting soldier in a hybrid flag and beast insignia. Eel Stark, Nida Nolman, metallic liquid body genius with Stark intellect and villain's charm. Wade Grayson, Deadwing, assassin's mask, twin katanas, Nightwing's agility with Deadpool's unpredictability. Peter Todd, Red Colossus, armored juggernaut with molten steel under his skin. Miles Wayne, Spiderling, acrobatic heir to both the cowl and the webs. Tim Drake, the Visage, master of disguise and psychological warfare, cloaked in shifting holograms. Ileana Kyle, Limbo Cat, sorceress thief with demonic teleportation and razor claws. Reed Allen, Mr. Elastic, stretchy strategist with Kryptonian resilience. Victor Thon, Dr. Zoom, speedster scientist with a genius for weaponizing time. Wally Grimm, the Erosion, slow, unstoppable powerhouse whose touch corrodes matter. Jay Storm Phase Walker, lightning-fast hero who phases through dimensions. Wallace Storm, Kid Plasma, speedster prodigy with volatile energy bursts. Wanda Ryder, chaotic devil, spellcaster with crimson wings and hellfire at her fingertips. Stephen Holland, Swamp Supreme, mystical guardian of nature, part sorcerer, part elemental. Kane Constantine Juggernaut, later just Constantine. Occult brawler with unstoppable momentum. Kent Spectre, Order Knight, spectral warrior clad in shining astral armor. Zatanna Barton, archer mage, arrows tipped with incantations. Charles Corrigan, Professor Spectre, ghostly scholar of forbidden knowledge. Scott Stone, Optiborg, cybernetic tactician with enhanced vision across the spectrum. Hank McNider, Nightbeast, nocturnal predator with enhanced senses and lethal strength. Shuri, Kara, Zor-El. Sun, Panthress, solar-charged vibranium armor with Kryptonian grace. Eric Stevens, Doommonger, vibranium warlord wielding mystical weaponry. M'Baku, Vibranicite, massive warrior clad in living stone. Ted Blake, Thunder Scarab, mystical beetle armor, channeling storms. Loki John Carter, Chronomancer, time-bending trickster with cosmic maps tattooed into his skin. Arthur Banner, Megalodon, Hulk-sized king of the seas. John Fury, legendary battlefield commander with a glowing energy pistol. Ulysses Zod, Kryptonian warlord wielding alien tech. David Blonsky, abyssal horror, monstrous deep-sea brute with chitinous armor. Peter Stewart, Star Lantern, interstellar warrior powered by a hybrid ring core. Ravenblaze, Shadow Flame, winged sorceress of darkness and fire. The hall falls silent as a massive screen ignites, showing the silhouette of an unknown threat in the stars. The worlds have merged, the future is theirs, but so is the fight